In this lesson, I present to the students how to solve a system of equations using substitution with 2-column notes, because I want them to write out their steps verbally, because some of the students are still struggling with remembering how to solve using substitution. And they can paraphrase the steps. I don't mind if they don't have to write them exactly the way they are in the notes, and I think it's good if they do paraphrase it, because when it's in their own words they seem to remember it better. So the first step is going to be and they can number these. If they can use colored pencils in my classroom, or they can just number them. The first step is going to be to solve for one variable. And so if we solve for the one that has the 1 or negative 1 in front of it, if there was more than one variable that had a 1 or negative 1 in front of it, they could choose either one of those, but just only choose one. And so y would equal, when you take the negative 3x across the equal sign with the inverse operation, it becomes positive 3x, and you already had a positive 4 over there. So you solve for y, and then the second step is you make the substitution, replace y in the other equation. So step 2 is going to be to have negative 4x plus 2 times, replace y with 3x plus 4. And then you continue writing the equation. Don't forget to continue writing and put equals 8. So step 2 is to do the substitution or substitute. And remember that we talked about the athlete, that if they run in substitute for another player, they actually replace them and they run off the floor in basketball. And so then now you're going to actually solve this linear equation. And why did we make the substitution? Because now it's down to one variable. We actually can get a value for x that's left in the equation. So we're going to solve. And so that's going to be negative 4x plus distributive property is going to be 6x plus 8 equals 8. And then we continue solving, so we combine like terms. That's going to be 2x plus 8 equals 8. Subtract 8. And we can already see that if 2x equals 0, x is going to be equal to 0. And then once you solve that, you're going to have to solve for the other variable by plugging it into the first equation you solved for. Because if you get an x, you must get a y, because it's representing the intersection point on the graph where these two lines are intersecting. So we're going to solve for y, and we're going to do that from the first equation. So step 4, we're going to solve for the other variable. So y is equal to 3 times 0, and then plus 4. So y is going to be equal to 4. And then the last step is just to check your solution. And remember, it has to make both equations true. And so if you had, the solution was you always list your x coordinate first, because that's how points are listed on the graph, is x and then y. So x was 0, remember, and y is 4. So if we plug those back into both of the, we already know it works in the second equation where we solve for y. We've already checked that one. And then the first equation, if we check it, if we plug in negative 4 times 0 plus 2 times 4, we do get it equal to 8, so that also checks, and therefore 0, 4 is the solution where these two lines will intersect.